Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for another round of not so rapid fire comic book reviews. And today we're going to get right into it with, well, the Star Wars Obi-Wan comic by Christopher Cantwell. So this story is. It just kind of is. So, which is weird because, the Kenobi series starts probably today when this video comes out. And you would think that with that in mind, Disney or Marvel would say, okay, so we need like your A-plus talent here. And this is not a dig at Christopher Cantwell, but I don't quite know what the point of it is. Outside of like a couple of extra schmeckles for the books. But Star Wars comics have been all right. I think they've always just been all right. I don't think they've ever been like amazing. But here with the mouse money, you would think we'd put our A game on this. But no, we haven't. So anyway, this story set starts off with, well, a sandstorm on the planet of Tatooine. And on Tatooine, I know, I'm just making fun of it. There's a desert storm a-coming. There's a sandstorm a-coming. It's going to be a bad one. The worst sandstorm in living memory. And, he's like, I can feel it. All my time here, there's one thing I can feel. Is when the sandstorms are coming. And he gets ready for it. And to be fair, this is a great setup. It's a really great setup. We sort of get into his head. He's been here a long time. The twin sons of Tatooine have done murder on him. He's aged horribly. And all he can do is prepare for another sandstorm, another horrible time on this horrible desert-ridden planet. And all he really has is his memories and his journals. Some of which will come into play later in the actual Star Wars comic under Disney/Marvel. So, yeah. And this story here is about a flashback he had many years ago at the Jedi Temple when he was still a youngling. Like, he didn't have a master yet. Qui-Gon hadn't taken him in yet. And he gets a feeling that his friend, Garen, is something's wrong with her. So she's like, I've had more dreams, more visions about my father. He's in pain. He's in trouble. I can feel it. I have to help. He's like, so what did Master Yoda say? And, he's like, might not, Yoda says, like, well, it might not be that, always in motion the future is. Essentially, by going there, she could be causing the moment that she's been dreading. This is sort of the real horrible thing about Anakin. Anakin, I don't think, ever bothered to contemplate that he might have been the cause of Padme's death. I don't think it ever entered his mind. And lo and behold, that's what happens. A self-fulfilling prophecy. But anyway, this little adventure ultimately means nothing. Obi-Wan and Garen go through the lower levels of Coruscant. She's trying to find passage off the planet. And, long story short, trouble ensues. They escape. And she still wants to go. He's like, let's go back to the temple. He's like, no. And Yoda's like, yeah, I knew she was going to go. That's her choice. Look, you don't have to be at the Jedi Temple. All right? If you choose to leave, make no mistake. We are not responsible for you. There you go. You leave the order, you leave the order. That's it. But you came back, which means you're just in time to be punished, a.k.a. sweep these stairs. And this is how the comic ends, with Kenobi writing his journal again. So what's the problem with this story? Well, first of all, Kenobi just did this in Attack of the Clones. So, that movie's like over 10 years old. In Attack of the Clones, Anakin tells him he's been having dreams/nightmares about his mom. And Kenobi doesn't really do much about that. I think, if anything, he could have, eased Anakin by saying, like, look, we'll look into her. We'll go to Tatooine, we'll check her. I'll go to Tatooine and check, on my way to X, all right? He could have done that. But no, because it has to be set up that way. Like, the horrible side of a prequel is things are in motion that cannot be undone, even if it will make more narrative sense. All right? Can't be done. And even then, I don't remember Anakin ever saying, like, I think my mother's in danger. He's like, I've been having dreams about her. And I'd rather be dreaming about Padme. So it was like, oh, Lord, he's either worried his mother's going to die or he wants to bone the senator from Naboo. Look, Anakin, you can't do... One of those things I can help with. The other one, you can't do that. And it goes from there. It's just... I don't get this story. I understand it. Like, I understand the beginning, the middle, the end of it. It is a story. But is this a story we want to tell for the Kenobi novel? or like the Kenobi comic, because Kenobi's had other stories before. Like there's an actual book out about his time on Tatooine, where he even points out when he took the name Ben. That's also apparently in Legends, even though he mentions Satine, so it definitely is in line with TCW, but it's still Legends. But Darth Plagueis is also Legends, like that book is Legends. So is Labyrinth of Evil, which sets up Revenge of the Sith, they just don't want to pay these writers. That's all there is to it. Anyway, the story of the past, what does it mean? I think this story is just going to be a bunch of events from Obi-Wan's life that should have led up to the Kenobi series on Disney Plus. Because here's the thing, Ian McGregor knew he was going to be in it long before we did. All right, Disney was planning this for months. You got to get the actors, the sets, the dates, the locations. All of that is planned months in advance. So that means this should have been planned months in advance. All right, Christopher Cantwell has written maybe 2 other books I've read. I cannot remember any of them to save my life, but I remember that name. I remember that name well, even though you can't. Well, so what is this? Isn't that introspective? Isn't that deep? Isn't that compelling? It's the first issue, so you should really be setting a tone here. All I'm seeing is something that feels like a one-shot. Is this a one-shot? If it's a one-shot, fine. You did good, kid. But it's also a remarkable one-shot. Was Christopher Cantwell the best choice for this? It's Charles Soule. He's been doing nothing but writing Star Wars. He's overseeing the comics, the High Republic. Just have him do one more. Look, dude, Kenobi book. Can you start us off? Issue 1. Go from this isn't it. This ain't it, fam. This ain't it. By the way, I've gone through 2 cups of chocolate milk, which was supposed to be a theme for this. But not only is great value chocolate milk actually not that great, due to some sound issues, it's like my 3rd time doing this. So I won't be doing it a 4th time, and I'm not going back down for more chocolate milk. Anyway, with that in mind, was there any particular book that really spoke to me here, that was really good? Honestly, yes. It wasn't Nightwing, because Nightwing dragged his feet, even though they just now got back to Heart Eater Stealer. I don't know. It is actually, once again, Sean the Goat Gordon Murphy with Batman Beyond the White Knight, issue 3. So, this story picks up with some of the good stuff, so to speak. And what we got here is Terry trying and failing to be a good Batman. So, Terry, you see him there, on the wall, looking all intense. I gotta put a sound device on that window so I can fully hear what they're saying. Then I go stealth mode, and I go in, and I bump into a lady who's got coffee. It falls on me, and it ruins the stealth mode. I'm no longer invisible. And he goes maybe it's the caffeine. That's why you're seeing me. But that's not really what matters here. To me, anyway. What matters is the explanation of last issue. So last issue ended with Harley telling us that Bruce is her husband. And everyone's like, what? And this explains it. So Derek Powers wanted to drop the hammer even harder on Bruce for the whole he's Batman thing. And Harley was like, well, hold on, Bruce, if you marry me, I can't testify against you. Spousal privilege. You see that? And Bruce is like, I don't want to do that. And it's dragging you into this more. And she's like, no, it's fine. We're doing this. And from Harley's perspective, it made the most sense. Bruce is her family. She's her best friend. She would do anything for that combination, for people who fit that category. And she's rightfully upset. If you just want to abandon us to go to jail, which basically he has. It was totally, she respected his decision to be arrested. She tried to break him out one time, but she respects that decision, but he's also just isolated himself now. He's not accepting any visitors. He wouldn't let her, Bryce, or Jackie visit them. So she's like, you know what, fine, I'm abandoning you now. She goes up the stairs. And once again, love the shadows. There's the shadow of the bat suit on Bruce's chest. There's the shadow of Harley Quinn, and in the background there. And Jack's like, so, that was fun. What's going on with that? And there's another discussion about, because Jack's like, I didn't see this coming at all. This is first hearing about it. And he points out, so I think you like her. You like my widow. He's like, yeah, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. My best friend slash mortal enemy is married to the love of my life. My widowed love of my life, who I was married to, so it's not like I was totally screwed over. It would have been terrible if Jack Napier did not get to marry Harley, but Batman did. Because for a while they were not friends. For the longest time they were not friends. But anyway, this is all interrupted by Bryce showing up going, Uncle Bruce! And they hug, and Jack is having a moment because this is his son. He hasn't seen any of his kids. Or he didn't even see them be born. So it's a big moment for him. He's in awe that is like his beautiful son, who he sees both him and Harley in. It's a great moment. And he reveals that, something's happened to Jackie. Jackie's missing. She found out about what happened with their dad, with Jack, or, Joker. So wait. She found out that her mom killed her dad. Okay, this is crazy. We gotta go. But he also points out that was supposed to be kept under the tight and secure. Like, no one was supposed to know about that. So there's that. But Jack is also freaking out. His daughter is missing in Gotham City. No matter what era, if your child is missing in Gotham City, this is a big deal. Like, Amber Alerts come out that day. There's no 24 hours. Like, no, put it out. Put it out. There's a story in, I think it was A City of Crime. Really great story. Really great story, City of Crime. And in that one, there's like a pregnant teen trafficking ring. I'm like, so yeah, there's that. But anyway, Jack's freaking out. Bruce's like, it's okay. Trust me. I'll find her. There we go. So Bruce is going to go do the Bruce thing. He's going to do the Batman thing. Meanwhile, at the GCPD, Duke Thomas wants to apply for a job as a GCPD officer. Barbara's like, so, that makes sense. You're a great cop, no matter where you are. But no, I need you to do something else. All right, I need you to be off the record and my eyes and ears on the ground helping Bruce. Because if there's other Batmans out there, Bruce is pretty much the only one that can stop him, alright? He knows Batman, he knows how Batman thinks. This isn't actually him as Batman, it's just the bat suit, but whatever. And Duke's like, so does Bruce know? He's like, hell no! Look, I love Bruce to death, but that jackass is always, I can't get people involved. Even if I trained them to be involved, they cannot get involved. This is my gift. This is my curse. I'm a loner, even though later on they'll all show up to help me. This is the bad experience here. Have you played the Arkham games? This could all be solved much quicker if Bruce just let them help. But anyway, we cut back to Terry trying to do some more stuff as Batman, the Batman Beyond suit, and he finds out that at any time, Derek Powers can take control of the suit, ergo take control of him. So, yes, there's that. Meanwhile, back at Harley's house, there's another discussion about Bruce and Harley's relationship, and the question whether or not does Bruce love Harley? Is he in love with her? In Jack's mind, like, how could you not be in love with her? She was the diamond of Gotham City. She brought out, in a lot of ways, the best of us, represented the best of us. And he's like, you guys have my blessing. Do it, man. Make the move. He's like, I'm not doing that. I think Bruce probably does. But because he's Bruce, he doesn't know how to do that. Even though this is sort of like a spiritual successor to the Batman animated series with Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, the series, this Bruce is a bit different. He's a bit angry. He's a bit more vulnerable in some ways. He's a bit more awkward when it comes to expressing his feelings that way. Which is sort of another reason why I think people think the Batman animated series Batman is the best version of the character, because he does have a vulnerability, does have a sort of tendency to be normal when he's not in the Bat costume. Sort of the question of who's the real one, the Bat or the Man. I think it's always Bruce. I think Bruce is the real person, or the person who motivates and builds Batman up is the real person. But anyway, whatever. So anyway, we then find out more about this particular bat suit. I do like it. I'm not going to lie. I like the coat sort of feeling like a cape thing. The whole point of this suit really is that it is the prototype to the Batman Beyond suit. It can't go invisible, but with security cameras and sensors, you're not going to spot him. You're not. It seems Bruce's entire intention for this suit is to go low-tech, ceramic weapons. He's going to rely on skill and experience. He's going to rely on the know-how, the fact that he knows more about the suit than Terry more than likely does, as well as his own experience to sort of give him the edge over, youth and tech. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Harley wants to come along, even pointing to the suit that he made for, which is a nice suit, by the way. And he's like, nah, again, I'm a loner. This is my gift. This is my curse. I can't get anyone involved. Ah! And he goes. So, then Dick Grayson talks to Derek Powers. And Dick is like, yeah, I've lost Bruce twice. It happens. He taught me. I can't really outdo him. So, why does he think that you're involved in the whole Batman Beyond thing? He's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Well, I know you and Bruce haven't had the best. You're like, look, all right, doesn't matter. Yeah, I did try to get him in jail longer. That doesn't mean that I'm automatically the bad guy. And again, Derek sort of hides behind the fact, like, Dick, you and I have done a lot of good for the city, all right? We've made this city better. All right, I need you to trust me on this. And why Dick decides to trust Derek Powers over his own mentor is, I think it's understandable. We saw it in the first issue. Dick does not want a world where he and Bruce and Babs have to put on costumes to fight crime. Dick Grayson wants to believe that there's a system out there that makes it so ordinary citizens don't have to do that. That's his motivation in my mind. And it's a noble endeavor, but he sold his soul in the process. As Barbara points out, he hasn't really dealt with the problems. Yes, there's no longer psychopathic criminals in costumes going on, but every other crime is still going on. So what's the point? Then we cut back to Terry McGinnis at his apartment with his mom and his little brother and his girlfriend, whose name I don't remember any of these people's names. I saw maybe 5 episodes of Batman Beyond, and 6 if you count the movie, and 7 if you count the epilogue from the Justice League Unlimited series. But overall, nothing else. And so, it's like, Terry's all set to go on a date with his girlfriend, and then Derek Powers calls, like, I gotta take this. What you got? And he goes, I know who killed your father. That thing that sounded like it would take at least 4 more issues? That was Bruce Wayne. And so Terry's like, Bruce. And we go from there. And meanwhile, we get sort of the bigger question. Jack asks, so what is the connection between Bruce Wayne and Derek Powers? Like, what is the real history there, outside of what people know publicly? And Bruce goes, well, his real name is Derek Powitz. And his family emigrated from Tel Aviv after the missile attack hit their home. And Derek's father worked for Wayne Cryogenics with Victor Fries. And that was all going fine. And when Derek joined the team too, he was shown he was very brilliant and capable man, just like his father. But then the reveal came out about the history of the cryogenics, Nazis, and exactly the history of Victor von Fries, which was its own solo story in the White Knight universe. At some point, we'll have to rank the White Knight stories. But anyway. Derek wasn't feeling, he was like, you know what? Screw that. Screw all of you. But Luke's like, hold on. What if I put you in Wayne Motors? And Derek's like, a steady job at a company I like. I'll take it. And he basically came in and he turned Wayne Motors around. It was a great business, great thing. And it was going fine until it turned out that Derek wanted to do more. He wanted to make weapons. Basically, he's an evil Tony Stark. I was like, you know what? I got it. Here's what we're going to do. Guns, bombs, grenades, launches, all of it on cars. And Bruce is like, I got to shut you down. You know that, right? And he's like, so how about this? You don't shut me down, and I won't tell people you're Batman. And Bruce is like, what do you mean? I'm not Batman. Like, dude, I saw the Batmobile. Those are my patents. It's my tech. I get it. Don't play this game with me. So Bruce is like, okay. All right, so here's what we'll do. You don't rat me out like a snitch, and I will instead put you in charge of Wayne Research and Development. We're going to remake Wayne Motors, make it Wayne R&D, and we'll sort of work together on that, right? So we're good? We're good? And Derek takes the deal. So we see this sort of deal with the devil going on here. Derek is actually the first one to find out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And we sort of see this sort of compromise that sort of defines Batman in the Sean Gordon Murphy verse, which I think makes sense. It's sort of a deal with the devil that I think Bruce would always knew at some point would bite him in the butt. But anyway, this is all interrupted by Terry showing up. And like, we gotta fight. I'm here to kill you. And Bruce goes for, I think he's going for the quick move. Because, Bruce is older. He can't really go with a war of attrition. He's got to end this as quickly as possible. So he's trying to end it quickly when I don't think that's the best method here. He needs to figure out what this character wants. If you're like, why are you doing this? Instead, like, no, he doesn't trust Derek Powers. So you assume that who's ever there already knows what Derek Powers wants. Terry, the character then goes, well, it's Terry, like, why did you kill Warren McGinnis? And Bruce is like picking himself up, going like, who? And Bruce gets up again. Terry's like, gah, 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 why'd you kill Warren McGinnis? And Bruce is like, I don't know who that is. But you gotta stop. Then Duke shows up like, yeah, you heard the man, we gotta stop this. And the fight escalates even further. Bruce is knocked off the roof, falls onto a police car on his back, and Barbara's like, Bruce! And that's how the comic ends. Overall, Batman Beyond the White Knight issue 3 proved, in my mind, to be a really great story. Some fun exposition, some fun dialogue. The characters were, I think, used well here. Harley explained the whole why Bruce and Harley are married thing was not, I think, the fandom's answers. The answer that they wanted, like, no, we wanted to know that, they connected in prison, R.I.P., like, well, not R.I.P., true love conquers all, and that Bruce was just being emo, didn't want to see her, like, it doesn't quite make sense. This explanation here, I think, made sense. Jack plays a great role here. From the moment we saw him first see Harley in the last issue to him seeing his son were great scenes. Him sort of pointing out to Bruce, yeah, dude, you love her. Go do something about it, Either kill her or love her, like, one of the other two, all right? Babs and her role here, and Dick Grayson and his role here, I think were all great. The reveal of Derek Powers, I still don't quite know what he wants. Does he want to further this police state issue, or does he want something a bit more? I think we're all sort of aware he killed Warren McGinnis. I think we're all kind of on the same page about that. And Terry, to his credit, doesn't fully trust Derek Powers because he doesn't keep going for the kill when he meets Bruce. Bruce, I think, is very set on trying to end this as quickly as possible, and he doesn't care about the real solution here, which I think is interesting because it shows a disconnect between him and Batman, as I think we usually know him. But I think he also believes that that the person in the Batman Beyond suit is really just some thug. It's like someone that works for Derek Powers, is on the payroll, and is just doing that. So how he'll react to Warren McGinnis in that story will be interesting. Hopefully he's not dead. This would be a bold move by Sean Gordon Murphy, killing off Bruce in this story here, also making the whole Joker reveal a total waste of time. But anyway, with that in mind, if you are new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some of my videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well. I'm not drinking Great Value chocolate milk again.